Hello, welcome to Chicago. I'm just trying to get the camera straight here at the beginning of the video here. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, here we are on Michigan Avenue near Southwater, north of Lake Street. Since it's a rainy, dreary day, and I talked about this morning, we'll go down into the lower levels. You know, I'm a city planner, so I like every once in a while to just cruise through here for my own, to see what's happening down here, to see how much, you know, homeless people are living down here, what's happening with, they're working on the Millennium Metro Station. They've been working on the vents, see if there's any new things that have changed. And so you see we just crossed down the steps that connect from Michigan Avenue down to the lower levels. We talk about this all the time in Chicago. This is, you know, over 100 years ago they started planning these multiple levels of, it connects to Wacker Drive that way, the Chicago River's that way. That's Michigan Avenue looking north. This is Michigan Avenue looking south. It stops there because that's where Roosevelt Millennium Station, the train station, there's underneath here, there's train tracks on the level below us. This becomes the third lowest level. It's either working on the vent there. We'll see crossing here. It's loud because of the generator. It provides, you know, there's sandblasting, working on the brickwork there. This goes really low. It's hard to hear, I know, because of the construction going on here. We used to go, before they redid Millennium Station, we used to go in the Millennium Station that way. See, there's water dripping down. This connects up to Wacker Drive. There's more loading docks and stuff like that. And then people living in tents right there. That, you know, it's in the 25 years that I've been living in Chicago, there's always been homeless people living different iterations of it. And you see how this is, if you just joined, welcome to Chicago. I'm in the lower levels of Lakeshore East here. And you see how probably if I go in here, I'll lose my connectivity. I see my bandwidth's pretty low. Other times I've attempted to go down to, hey, how's it going, Angel? Thanks for tuning in. Other times I've attempted to go into Millennium Station that way. Usually I can get down to the station, but once I cross the platform, my connection cuts out because you see it's several layers of concrete. We're actually on the lowest level. There's a level above us, and there's actually the highest level where that's open to the air is above. Here you can see it. See how this opens up, and this is exactly as how this was planned to be developed over the decades and past century. This is the parking, the lower level parking. There's underground parking. There used to be an entrance here. There used to be an entrance to the parking garage. I remember entering this parking garage this way. You see 1, 2, 3 levels. That third level is actually part of the Pedway, and this is the back side of the, they call it the Millennium Center. It used to be the Illinois Center. I know it's confusing. There's the New Prudential, the Aon. There's been many plans to develop this lot. You can clearly see we're on the lowest level. There's the middle level. There's the highest level. That's actually Stockton. That connects to Lake Street. Welcome to Chicago. We're down in the underground streets here that are down in Lakeshore East. It's kind of a rainy day today, so I thought we'd go down here and give this a try. Hotels have been planned for this. Probably if this is ever developed, there'll be parking underneath here. They might connect the Pedway that's supposed to go through there and connect. There's Pedways that connect to these hotels. There's the Fairmont, and that's a residential building. That's the Aon building. But here we'll walk through here. But you see how, you know, some people seek shelter down here because it, you know, it does provide, you know, some level of protection from the elements. And then, you know, there's all these loading dock and parking access. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, hopefully it's streaming okay. I think I'm back up to 3,800 kilobits per second. Someone hit the sign here, you know, I guess a truck or something. You see how some of this is used as a staging area for storage of barriers, the city, and different, and you see how that connects right up to Wacker Drive. It's open there because that's actually where the Riverwalk is. Remember when we walk along the Riverwalk by where people get their architectural tour tickets, you can walk into this lower level that way, and I've done that before, you know, and you see how there's ramp connections where you could ramp up to the second level, the middle level. We're in the third lowest level. This area of the sometimes I refer to it as underground streets. We're not under the ground, we're actually on the ground. The streets above us are built on these causeways, and you see how there's a steel structure. It's like a bridge. These roads do not support any of the bridges that surround it. These roads do not support any of the buildings that are on either side of these multi-level streets. The buildings, and or you know, something to connect it, and that's why the water often down here. Yeah, we're frozen. Okay, good. So we'll see if we can get it back. It's slowly starting to come back here. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, I know I was frozen there for a while. I had to walk until I got to an opening. You see where I'm at here. I'm still in the lower levels here. I expected that to happen because I'm under, you know, 3 levels of concrete, 3 levels of steel and structure here. And every time I try to live stream down here, I lose my connectivity. So I had to walk over to, there's a gap in the, this connects to Lakeshore East. That's the park with the dog park. And then we're behind the Blue Cross and Blue Shield building. Welcome to Chicago. We're coming back here. Thanks for bearing with me. I know I was going to lose connection. I'm trying to document the underground streets here. We're going to lose connectivity. We're going to come in and out, and I'll do my best if I can to come to spots like this to regain connection. Happy Thursday. Thanks, Amber, Kimberly, Angel, Tammy. Thanks for dealing with the frozenness. I know the way I roll, and Richard Gardner, I know, and Ned, I know I lost my connectivity. Now I'm back to 3,800 kilobits per second. So hopefully people will come back on here and you can reconnect with the live. We'll keep going here. Thanks for staying on, the 3 people that stayed on. I know I was up to 20 people, and then we lost that. See if we can maintain a stream as I head over towards Millennium connectivity, because of problem levels here, but I don't think it's gonna work. Let me see if I can just get over to Millennium Station. I might have to restart this live, and we'll do the best we can here. But you see there's other people down here. I'm not the only person. Look how you can clearly see the 3 levels here. We'll stay right here. Let's see where these cars are going. See, they're ramping up to the 2nd level. See, and I know it's people often say, they say, don't come down here because your GPS won't work. Your GPS doesn't work, your cell phone doesn't work. It's easy to get lost down here. It's very disorienting. You can't tell if you're going north, south, east, or west. Sometimes you get confused if you're on the 3rd level or the 2nd level, you know, and that's why I'm trying to do this so people can, you know, understand how this all works down here. See, you can go up these stairs, and look at these stairs. So we're underneath the Blue Cross and Blue Shield building. We got, look at these crazy stairs that we got that go up, and we also got there's that yellow thing. There's a underground pedway that you're actually, it's part of the pedway that connects from the parking garages in Millennium Park into the Blue Cross and Blue Shielding. That yellow thing over there, you're on in between the 2nd and 3rd top level. See, we're at Columbus Drive, 300 East. Hopefully I'm coming back here. I think I'm streaming okay now. If you just joined, welcome to Chicago. We're in the lowest level There's 3 levels of Columbus, Randolph, Wacker Drive down here. We're at the lowest level. There's parking garage entrances to Millennium Park garages there. And there's a street sign here. It's great. It says we're at Columbus and Randolph. And we're on the lowest level. There's a level above us. And then there's the topmost level, which is open to the sky. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up button. I appreciate it. No, that's okay. That's okay for being late. I lost my connectivity. I started walking down from Water Street. We're on the lower, you know, the lower level streets here underneath Lakeshore East. We're just north of Millennium Park. It looks like we're underground, but we're actually on the ground. And it shows you all these streets. See, it says Columbus and Randolph. People like bending these signs. That sign used to be not bent like that, but we're the Aon building's there, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield building's there. This is underneath Columbus, and Columbus, if you go up, it's, you know, if you go up those stairs, you're still underground. You're not. You have to go up 2 levels to get to the ground. I'll show how we can walk right into Millennium Station here, and then we can connect with the Pedway. Hopefully I'll have good connectivity and we'll just walk into the Pedway and document that. We've done this before. Oh, Hyde Park has a lot of history. Hyde Park used to be its own community, and it was annexed by Chicago right before the World's Columbian Exposition. Yeah, you know, City Walking Girl covers that area sometimes. I've been down there before. I've been through Kenwood, Hyde Park, Jackson Park. We checked out I need to get down there to check out the progress of the Obama Presidential Library. And of course we did University of Chicago, Washington Park a little bit. And I've even done the southern part of Bronzeville there. But, you know, I haven't done it recently. And yeah, I know Chicago's so vast. And since I work downtown, that's why I'm always downtown covering this stuff. Look at these vents. Look at the size of these vents. Look at the size of that vent moving air, because there's giant parking garages down here and they have to push the vent for exhaust and stuff like that. There's the busway which connects to McCormick Place. They built a busway that runs in the trough. Here's the northern end of the busway. It runs all the way down to McCormick Place. You see something, there's a truck coming out of it. There's actually a truck or a bus. This is rare for me to see this actually being used, because often it's not used. Let's see if this gate opens. I got my connectivity. And yeah, let's see if this bus comes out of the busway which connects to McCormick Place. Yeah, look out for the mobile. Now Daniel, Angel, Dolores, the way I roll. Look, the gate opened. The gate opened. See how that's automated here? And so this bus probably came from McCormick Place. It's probably hauling something from people from McCormick Place to connect up to the hotels. It might be a shuttle. And yeah, it says official shuttle bus. They're hauling something. There's people in there. They're going. I gave them a thumbs up. They're like, look at this live streamer that's down here. And here comes another thing. Look, see. So the busway is actually being used, and it's its own transit, you know. And yeah, see. So look, they're opening the gate. They're opening the gate. They control access to this. They don't want just me or anybody else walking down there, and it's nice. Yeah, the busway's actually being used. Thank you. I'm just showing how the busway's being used. That's great. And see how you can connect right into Millennium Station. And this is the backside of where the South Shore trains from South Bend and northern Indiana, northwest Indiana. The NICD trains, they're called the South Shore lines. They connect you to Dune Park, Hammond, Gary, even the south side of Chicago. You can go to Hegwish this way and connect to Michigan City. And if you keep taking them, it goes all the way to South Penn. And I've taken these trains to get to Indiana because, of course, I have family that lives in Indiana. That when they come in, they usually park at a park and ride in Indiana. You can take this right into downtown. And it's an electric. You see how they have the overhead lines there? And is this streaming okay? So we've entered the backside of Millennium Station. Here's the whole south at Hegwish Bend around the southern tip of Lake Mirror. Behind the Board of Trade. And this is the other one, Millennium Station, which is over by Millennium Park. It's always been here. All these trains from the South Shore and southern suburbs, University Park, Beverly, they come into here. And some of the Beverly trains go into LaSalle Station. A lot of the South and Joliet trains go into LaSalle. But you see how we've done this before. That connects to the Smurfit Stone building. This connects, I'll go outside here briefly to show you where we're at. We're right by the Cultural Center. Remember, we go into the Cultural Center right here at Randolph and Michigan. This is Michigan Avenue. This is Randolph. This is the Cultural Center. We were walking all underneath this. We were underneath Millennium Station's underneath Randolph. And you see there's Millennium Park. This is Michigan Avenue looking south. This is Michigan Avenue looking north. There's the Wrigley building. And yeah, it's a little choppy. I know sometimes I lose connectivity. Thanks for bearing with the choppiness. Anytime I go underground, which we're going to go right back down into the Pedway, we deal with streaming issues. So thanks for bearing with me. Since it's a rainy day, I thought today's a good day to go through the lower streets and head through the Pedway here. How's it going? Thank you. And you see how you could connect right to the parking garages. We'll go through this door, and if you make a right, you go right underneath the Cultural Center. There's elevators where they came out. You can go up into the Cultural Center, see the dome, Millennium Park's right, where that's at. We were just outside there. See, we're underneath this. West now in the Pedway. Pedway's a good option in the wintertime if it's cold or snowing or raining. You can connect. Yeah, stay low and dry. You got it. And that's why it's such a rainy day today. I want to show how you can connect right to the blue and red subway stations on the CTA and connect with City Hall, the Daily Center, Macy's, the Marshall Field. It goes right by the former Marshall Field Heritage Building. Holding up here. That's where they store the trains at the other end. That's great. Now, so I'm streaming. Second here. Thanks for bearing with me here. I'm losing my connection as we go underneath Wabash. This is going to walk through here. So we'll see if we can get my connection back. Now I crossed underneath Wabash and we're over by Macy's. Of course, this used to be Marshall Fields. Isn't it funny how the connectivity comes and goes when you're down here? So hopefully my connection will come back. We're walking on the north side of Macy's, formerly known as Marshall Fields here. You can walk right into the store, and there's a bookstore in the lower level. Like this one's from a San Francisco house. I used to think all these were from Chicago, but they got a plaque where they show where this is the lower level. I mean, this is the Pedway that connects to the red line here. And see right here, you got some signage here. Let me see if I can get my connection back by going through Macy's here. Let me go back into Macy's here. Yeah, we're getting our connection back here. Chris, how's it going? There's where you can get those Frango chocolates that have the clock on them. Let's see if they still have any of these boxes here. There's some with the, let me see if I get my connection back here. We're walking through the I'm trying to get my connection back. I'm trying to get to the other end of the store, which that's where we're at now. Good. So you can connect to the rest of the Pedway this way. See, look, it says 2 subways. So from Marshall Fields, if you I got my connection back here. We can connect back to the Pedway, and we can walk over to the red line here. And if I would have not went into Macy's, we would have came down this way. You connect around by the stained glass windows. We've done this before. You walk right into the red line, and if I pop out here, I'll show you how close we are to the Chicago Theater, State Street. That's how you can use the Pedway to go underneath and connect underneath Block 37 and connect all the way to City Hall. You see where we're at here. We're right on State Street. We popped out. We're in front of Marshall Fields here. We're the Block 37's across the street, and so I don't know if this is actually useful. So if my connection keeps cutting in and out, you know, yeah, it's sad. It's sad, Dolores, because, you know, I attribute to, think about this. Before the pandemic, and when most people were working in office, before all this remote work and the, you know, telecommuting, and people, I understand people in the suburbs, that you save time by not commuting downtown. There was 500,000 people on average that commuted on weekdays to downtown Chicago. That's what we've lost. Now it's probably down to only 100,000 people or less commute with metro trains. And even people that live in the city, even people I know I work with that live in the city, some of them work from home. Even though I work with people that work only blocks, that live only blocks away from my office, that don't come into the office because they can work from home. They got the option to work from home. They prefer to work from home. They might be more efficient and effective. You know, I get more work done in the office. Some people get more work done at home. You know, it's positive, negatives, everything. You can hear the train. We went back to the Red Line subway station here. Well, this is how you can connect right to the Red Line here from State Street, and then we can connect to Block 37, which is, you know, in the Block 34 levels above us. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Pedway here. We're just, since it's a rainy, dreary day, we're just walking through the Pedway. Yeah, that's what I'm with you, Chris. You know, I preferred keeping the work home separation. You know, not feeling pressure to check email in the middle of the night. You know, and I can leave work at work. When I go home, I just want to veg. You know, but that's what, you know, you spend a lot of your time on the train or in traffic, and you do that enough as it is with your job. You know, and it's. So we're in this weird, you know, it's not just Chicago, all downtowns. New York's been affected by this, Philadelphia, Boston, California cities, you know, and then we build all this stuff, you know, all the infrastructure, all the train lines still go downtown, and it's going to be interesting to see how, what's going to be the long-term effects of all this, you know. But here we are, we're by the Blue Line. This is the Blue Line subway entrance. You see how nice the connection is. You can walk through the shops. You could transfer between the red and blue lines. The red and blue lines are major train lines. And the blue line will take you to O'Hare. You see how if you go out here, we're right where Daily Plaza is. That's why I keep going up and down to show for orientation purposes. So, you know, it gets disoriented when you stay underground, you know. And I know most people that live in Chicago, you know all about this. Look, they got a farmer's market going on. So the farmer's market's still going on, even this late until October. Isn't this amazing? Here we're at Daily Plaza by the Picasso. And we got the farmer's market going on. That's good. Yeah, you know, I enjoy the banter with colleagues, seeing people face to face. Because like you and other people of our generation and older, we grew up before the internet and this constant connectivity. So you know, online meetings are great. Sometimes it's great to meet people in person and be in a conference room instead of, but you know, there's a giant generational shift where people that grew up with the internet, especially the millennials and the Gen Z and younger, they've had the internet their entire lives, and so they actually prefer Zoom meetings. They prefer texting. I've had people I work with that sit right next to me, and instead of talking to me face to face, they'll text me or message me when we're sitting. And for me, I consider that rude. Like, they don't want to talk to me. Maybe I talk loud, or they don't. You know, I might. You know, and it's just they're more comfortable with the online communication, even if you're sitting in the same room with them. You know, and you know, I'll be in the office. Everybody will have their headphones in. No one will be talking to each other. It's weird. You know, I call it like. I call it like working at the morgue. You know, that's what I'm probably going to lose my connection as we walk through. We're going to walk through the austere bottom of the Richard J. Daley Center. The courthouse is here, and there's a lot of city offices, courthouses, stuff like that. City Hall. And I probably might have already lost it. Looks like they're having a birthday party in there. That's nice. But here, if I can get my combined Cook County and City of Chicago governmental offices, this is where the mayor has his office, and the Cook County Commissioner and all that stuff is in. All the information of the internet at our hands. All the information of the internet at our hands. People will still ask me questions where I'm like, you can just type that into a search engine. But you know, even with all this connectivity, people still somehow prefer me saying it or asking me the question instead of typing the search engine. So I'm still confused, because sometimes these are the same people that, you know, are prefer to work from home, you know, and it's I'm like, don't you know how to use the internet? You know how to use the internet because we're reviewing each other right now, you know. It just I'm all confused by all this. There's the payment center, service center. We're in the City Hall here in Chicago. Thanks for bearing with my. So now I'm probably going to stay outside because the rain's held off. I know I'm probably annoying everybody with dropping off the connection, trying to attempt to do the Pedway and all that stuff. See, we're at LaSalle Street. You can take the Pedway all the way from LaSalle Street all the way underneath Michigan Avenue to Millennium Station, where we started this, and actually even into Lakeshore East. And so now we're on the other side of the loop almost on LaSalle Street. And yeah, there's some interesting ceilings, especially in City Hall. In City Hall there, it's amazing how detailed this kind of neoclassical Beaux-Arts kind of curving archway they got there. It's kind of elegant. And so here we'll head up LaSalle Street. There's the Metropolitan. Yeah, there's the Icarus, and flew too close to the sun there, melted the wings. Let's go by the Thompson Center. The Thompson Center would be interesting if I could go in there and show the giant glass atrium designed by Hellman Jan, but they got it closed because I think Google wants to move offices in there, but I don't know if they're going to do it. And that's funny because Google, many people from Google don't even go into the office anymore. So why do they need more office space? I don't know, but there's the L going by. Yeah, Google's your friend. Google's my friend. It's funny. Look, we got L's going there, and we got L's going there. Look at that. That's awesome. So here, we'll try to get across the street here. I lost everybody. It's a shame because at the beginning we had 20 people, and then I walked down in the lower levels there and I lost my interconnection and everybody dropped off, and I don't blame them because, you know, it's got to be annoying trying to watch a live stream and it keeps cutting in and out because I'm underneath the concrete. But people, how's it going? People can watch the reruns, and that's why I'm doing this, you know. But here we're under the Thompson Center. I don't usually come over this way because, like I said, this is largely There was a giant food court in here on the lower level. You could connect to the blue line this way. There used to be a lot of government services in here, and you know, at least there's still like a Walgreens here. I think that's what this is. You see, they even have this lower level connection blocked off. Maybe we might be able to peer through the window here. You see how? I remember taking these elevators up. This is the Thompson Center in Chicago. You ever go take those elevators? It's this giant atrium space inside there with elevators that you can overlook the whole. And is this open or not? It says closed for renovation. Yeah, there's security right there. This moves, but there's a security right there. So, building interior closed for renovation. It talks about, but it's hard to see with the glare here. You know, you can look at that. So this is the inside of the Thompson Center. Maybe my head can, you know, look at this giant atrium. And of course, you know, Helmand was criticized because it was cold in the wintertime. It was really hot in the summertime. You know, the problems with having an atrium that large, you know. And then we got this crazy sculpture, this kind of modern sculpture. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back, everybody. I know I lost everybody when I lost my connection down there, but thanks for coming back. I have to realize that, you know, I want to show the Pedway. People ask the Pedway, but I can't maintain a constant stream down there for live streaming, and it's really problematic for me to try to film down there. I might do it with just like doing a video recording, but here's this crazy modern sculpture. You can walk right inside of it. Sometimes it's stinky in here, you know, people use it as a restroom, but we're actually inside the sculpture now. Look, people add their own artwork to the public art here. True public art that you can contribute to. Isn't that nice? In more ways than one, you know. As a restroom or as your own artwork there. Yeah, we took a school trip here to the Thompson Center. Yeah, this was a big deal when it opened. You know, it was, and they talked about like making this the casino, different adaptive reuse. We'll see if Google does take it over. It'll be interesting if what they might do with that space, because they have the money to actually like make it really interesting. But here, we'll head over on Randolph here. Defacing the actual art. Yeah, I kept cutting out. I know. I apologize. It's because of I was going in the Pedway and the lower levels there of Michigan Avenue, or the Pedway underneath Michigan Avenue through the Loop and Millennium Station, and I kept cutting out there. So sorry for that. Since it was raining today, I thought I would try to do the Pedway, but it never works. Every time I go down there, all kinds of problems happen with live streaming, and I know it's hard for you as the viewer. I don't expect anybody to put up with the dead airspace, so thanks for coming back. I'm just going to head straight back to the office here along Randolph. We'll go by the Chicago Theater, and then we'll see what this footage looks like if I was able to, you know, if any of it's useful. I don't know. I'm just trying to cover different areas of the Loop here since I'm on my lunch break here. Yeah, the Harold Washington. Yeah, it was built. Yeah, the Thompson Center was built in the early 80s under the Harold Washington administration, or the mid 80s. Yeah, and I worked with architects that were older that are now retired that worked with Helmand. They can tell stories about how Helmand, the architect that designed the Thompson Center, spent large amounts of time on that blue glass, that pink glass, and it was very hard and expensive to get the blue glass, and it was controversial because it was public money, you know, and he was driving up the expense of that thing. And you remember we were coming out of the 81, 82 recession, which was really bad, and then in the mid 80s, you know, it was very controversial, that building, but it got built and it was used by the city for a while, you know. You got to deal with the Morlocks. That's funny. But here, once we find ourselves once again by Garrett's Popcorn, though this is the one on Randolph. We're underneath the Nederlander Theater. Of course, we go by this all the time. And you know, we got the Betty Boop's not playing here. The Betty Boop's playing at the CBIC Theater, which is a few blocks south of us. There's block 37. See, we walked underneath there, and then they got all this housing above. There's the Blick. That's interesting. Look at the L. Scenes of the city. There's always an L somewhere. There we go. We'll get the camera straight. Straight as possible. So yeah, they updated the marquee of the Chicago Theater here. Tony. There we go. Oh, the apple caramel corn at Garrett's. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, you got some shipped to Arizona. That's great. Isn't that great? You can ship Garrett's. You know, you can, most things you can have shipped now, which is good. And yeah, that's oh yeah, they had the city council wars when Harold Washington was mayor, and yeah, it was an interesting time. Yeah, I wasn't living in Chicago then. I was growing up in the country of Indiana, but once I moved to Chicago, I saw all the historical footage of that period, and it was so unfortunate that Harold Washington died far too soon when he was in office. You know, there's the Tony at the Chicago Theater. Yeah, they were updating the marquee yesterday. Isn't that nice? Yeah. And yeah, we're back at State Street. Same place. I'm walking in circles once again, but I tried to go down in the lower levels of Michigan and the Pedway, but I just cannot maintain a connection down there, and it's no wonder people, you know, their GPS doesn't work when they try to drive down there. It's very disorienting. I guess I'll just have to film it. I'll have to film it without live streaming it and just post the footage of a normal film, you know. And here, we'll cross to the other side of the street here. We're underneath the Lake Street L tracks. They got this interesting sculpture right here in the median. Let's cross over there. This is State Street looking north. You can see to the Marina Towers and the former IBM building. It's now the Langham Hotel. Look at this. And here's the Wit. Look at the Wit. They have a rooftop terrace up there. Look at that. It's a hotel right here at State and Lake, conveniently located. Oh, your brother took a lot of pictures. Those are historical. Those are historically significant photographs. Thanks to your brother for taking those photos at the Harold Washington funeral procession. Yeah, I know that was a big deal in the city. And but look, you know, look at his legacy. We got the Harold Washington College right here. We went to the Harold Washington Library. When we went over to the back column sculpture, there was the Harold Washington Social or Civil Service Center there. This is the direct current power plant for the L. So the L, you know, the third rail, the L's direct current. You don't want to step on it; it'll electrocute you. This is the direct current power plant for the L, and I've walked by it many times. It took me a while to figure out that 10 East Lake Street. And I always joke that you ever seen like Men in Black? There's like a door, and that's where you go to get to Men in Black. But that's the direct current power plant for the L. Powers all the trains going around the loop. And here's the Harold Washington College, what we were just talking about. They just redid the entrance. They got a nice new sign up here. And your daughter worked at Garrett's? Yeah, I know everything's packaged. It's not the same, and so you just get it out of a box, and it's too salty. Yeah, see. Nothing's as good as it used to be. You know, there's so many Garrett locations all throughout the city. People used to remember having to wait in line and stuff, and now when I go in, there's no line. You know, because yeah, most people just get it shipped, and then you're not getting the real popcorn like it used to be. Nothing's as good as we used to remember it, right? There's the Virgin hotels. Here we'll show there's a Lips couch over here. Let's just show the Lips couch. It's like the Rolling Stones Lips couch. Hey, she went to the Blackhawks store. That's great. So the Blackhawks lost last night. They won their first game on the road, and then they lost their second, but they still got their home opener coming up, so hopefully they can win that. But here's the Lips couch. Miss Ricky's. Go sit on the Lips couch, the giant lips here. Virgin, look at the rates for valet parking here. You can sit on the Lips here in front of the Virgin Hotel. There's Emerald Loops over there. That's the Jewelers Building. Of course, the Trump. Harold Washington College. There's the Bend and Loop, the Art Institute. Illinois Institute of Art. And then there's Elephant and Castles across the way. They got a La Colombe coffee shop right there by the Virgin Hotels. And yeah, we're under the crazy parking garage with they're playing the opera music. Billy Goats. Yeah, they don't make it on site. Yeah, it's manufactured popcorn, so I guess Garrett's has kind of lost some of its luster. Nothing's as good as it used to be. Including me. That's awesome. No, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, I'm just pointing it out. You know, Michigan Avenue's not as magnificent as it used to be. The Loops. The Loop's actually better than it used to be because more people are living in the Loop. So there's actually like, to me, the Loop's more happening now than it used to be. Because I remember when the Loop used to be dead, especially on weekends. And now since there's people that live here, and there's so many hotels, and things like Millennium Park and stuff. Look at all these buses. Look at these buses probably waiting for the Chicago. That might be Tony right there. I wonder if all three Tonys have a separate bus. Oh, you got a Patrick Kane jersey. That's great. Yeah. Oh, he was at a groundbreaking ceremony the day he died. We're still talking about Harold Washington. Wow, yeah, I know, it was so sudden. You know, he caught everybody by surprise. That shows he was still doing his official activities as mayor of Chicago up to the day he died. And it was so shocking. You know, everybody was just taken back and didn't expect it, you know. And, but here we are at Michigan and Lake once again. Nice Prudential Tower, the door owls there on the right. So that's residential. You can rent there. That's Prudential offices. This is offices, commercial space. And then you see we can look up to the Wrigley building, the John Hancock, Millennium Park's there. We know where we're at. We're here all the time. So I'll wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for all the connectivity issues we had walking down in the lower levels. I tried my darndest to cover the Pedway. It just never works. So I'll have to film it some other time, some other rainy day. And then I'll just post the footage and you'll have to watch a rerun of it because it's the only way I'm going to be able to maintain a constant stream. But here we'll cross the Michigan Avenue. And so I'll be on TikTok tonight. We'll see if the rain holds off. And we'll just walk home. We'll try to look for more Halloween decorations. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate coming on. And we'll try it again. Good discussion today about Harold Washington and the Garrett's popcorn and a few other things. And have a good afternoon. Yeah, talk to you later. No, I just I want to be able to film down there, and I'm frustrated that I can't. So, yep, talk to you later. See you later tonight. Talk to you later. Thanks, everybody.